Imagine losing everything, your family, your peace, your future, all because one reckless act spiraled out of control. That's exactly what happens in this dark, heartbreaking story of Shadows of Revenge. You'll see how a troubled young man's anger and violence push his family to the edge, and how one desperate mistake unleashes brutal revenge that no one can escape. But what if I told you the real story isn't just about revenge? It's about how pain, hatred, and broken bonds can trap everyone in a cycle of darkness, and how that cycle might finally be broken. You'll discover the shocking twist that changes everything, revealing the true cost of revenge and the fragile line between justice and ruin. If you think you can handle the truth behind this tragic story, stay tuned. But first, drop a comment below. Tell us where you're watching from, and hit that like button if you believe family or justice should never be forgotten. You won't want to miss what's coming next. I wake up and feel angry inside. Today, I am not happy. I am Jay. I am a young man. I wear dark clothes and have messy hair. My face looks tough. I like to loud and show I do not care. I like to fight and scare people. That makes me feel strong. At home, I yell at my mother, Maria. I threaten her. I say, "Leave me alone. Don't tell me what to do." She looks worried. She is a small woman with tired eyes and a kind face. She wears simple clothes. She cares about me but is scared of my anger. My mother always hopes I will change, but I don't want to change. I want to do what I want. I want to be in control. I don't listen when she talks. I only want to feel powerful. One day outside, I fight with some guys. I push them and shout. I threaten them. They step back. I feel good for a moment, but I know I am dangerous. I don't care. I like chaos. Later I go back home. My mother is waiting. She looks worried. She says, "Jay, please calm down. You can't keep fighting." I just shrug. I don't want her advice. In my room, I close the door. I look around. I see some small bags hidden in my closet. I don't think much about them at first, but then I notice something strange. There are small packets. They look like drugs. I pick up one packet. It's shiny and small. I know what they are. Drugs. They are dangerous, but I don't care. I keep them hidden in my closet. I think they make me tough. I think they give me power. My mother finds out about the drugs. She walks into my room quietly. She looks at the stash. Her face turns pale. She looks scared and sad. She knows these drugs are not good. She knows they could hurt me or someone else. She grabs the drugs and runs to the bathroom. She looks around for something to stop me from using them. She thinks hard. Then she has an idea. She takes a deep breath. She decides to do something brave. Maria goes to the toilet. She holds the small packets. She looks at them carefully. She feels hate and fear inside her. She decides she must do something quick. She pushes the packets into the toilet and flushes them away. She watches the water swirl. The drugs go down the drain. She hopes she has done the right thing. She hopes she has saved me. But she doesn't know what will happen next. After she flushes the drugs, she feels a little better, but inside she is scared. She knows the drugs belong to bad men. She worries they will be very angry. That night, the criminals who own the drugs find out. They are very angry. They are dangerous, rough men. They talk in low, tough voices. They say, "Someone took our drugs. We must find out who did this." They send men to look for the person who stole from them. They do not care if it is me or someone else. They want their drugs back. They want revenge. Meanwhile, I do not know what is coming. I feel a small sense of victory. I think I am safe, but I am wrong. A few days later, some of my friends come to see me. They seem friendly at first. We hang out, joke a little. But I notice they are acting strange. Their eyes look nervous. They are quiet. Then they come close. One of them says, "Jay, we know what you did. The drugs are gone." I get angry. I ask, "What do you mean?" They look away. Then they say, "The guys who give us money want to talk to you. They say you took the drugs. You better come with us." I feel a cold chill. I know these friends. They are not really my friends. They are selfish. They only care about themselves. I ask, what? Why would I do that? But they just sneer and push me. I realize I am betrayed. They take me to a dark alley. Men with guns and cruel faces are waiting. They grab me. They chain me to a wall. I try to move, but I am stuck. They hit me. They yell at me. My body hurts. I cry out, but no one can hear me. I am afraid. I am broken. I scream for help, but nobody comes. The pain is terrible. I feel helpless. I think about my mother and all I have done. I realize that my anger and fighting brought me here. I made many enemies. Now I am chained in a cold shed. My body is hurt and my mind is tired. I wish I could turn back time and change everything, but I cannot. The shadows around me are dark and heavy. I am lost in a terrible place. My mother hears about what happened. She feels horrible. She remembers flushing the drugs and thinks, did I do the right thing? But she also feels fear. She knows that her act of destruction has made things worse. The story here ends for now. I am in the dark, broken and trapped. My mother is haunted by what she did. The danger is closing in, and I don't know if I can escape. My reckless life has led me to this terrible place. This is the first chapter of a long, dark story. It shows how anger and violence can hurt everyone. It also shows how one small act can change everything. The story will go on, and things will get even worse. But for now, there is only silence and shadows. I wake up in a cold, dark shed. The air feels damp and heavy. My body hurts. My head is pounding. Chains hold my wrists and ankles. I cannot move much. I try to shout, but my voice is weak. I feel scared. My heart beats fast. I don't know how I got here. Last night, everything was bad. I was angry, and everything went wrong. Now, I am stuck in this place, alone and hurt. I listen carefully. I hear footsteps outside. I hear voices. They are loud and angry. I want to know what's happening. I try to move my head to see better. Suddenly, I hear a voice I know. It's Maria, my mother. She sounds worried, but also angry. I hear her saying, "They took him. I don't know where he is now." My mother is outside. She cares so much about me, but she is scared too. I want to shout to her, to tell her I'm here, but I can't because I'm too weak. I close my eyes for a moment. I remember last week, when I was not chained and free. I was angry and reckless. I threatened everyone. I fought outside. I was angry all the time. Now I feel empty. I hurt everywhere. I wonder if I will ever be free again. My mind feels foggy with pain and fear. Outside, I hear Maria talking to someone. Her voice is trembling. She says, "I didn't mean for this to happen. I only wanted to help him. I thought I was doing right." She sounds full of regret. I know she loves me. I wish I could tell her I'm okay. I wish I could tell her I'm sorry for all the trouble. Suddenly, I hear footsteps coming closer. Someone opens the shed door. I see a man's face. He is tall, cold, and serious. He looks at me with no kindness. His eyes are hard. He says, "You're the one. The drug stash is gone. We want him. Where is he?" I don't understand everything he says, but I know he is angry. I see the men with him. They look dangerous. They carry tools and weapons. They want to find me and hurt me more. My stomach twists with fear. I try to stay strong. I want to cry, but I cannot. I am trapped now. I am broken. I feel my body trembling. Inside, I think about my mom. She tried to protect me. She did something desperate. She flushed the drugs because she thought it was right. But now I see she made things worse. I see her face in my mind, full of worry and guilt. I want to tell her I'm sorry. I want to tell her I still love her. But I'm too weak. I can only lie here, chained and helpless. I hear the men talking. They say they will find me. They say I am the one who stole their drugs. I know I didn't do it. I only got caught in the middle. I feel cold and alone. My body aches. My mind is full of fear. I wonder what will happen next. I wonder if I will ever be free again. As I lie there, I think about my past, about the anger and violence I showed, about how I hurt my family and myself. I see now that my own actions brought me here. I close my eyes and try to breathe slowly. I want to be brave. I want to hope that help will come. I want to believe I can survive this. But right now, all I can do is wait in the dark. Wait for what comes next. Hope that someday I will find a way out. Hope that I can still find peace, even after all the pain. And so I stay silent, chained in the darkness, feeling the weight of my past. I hope the morning will bring some change. I hope someone will save me. I know I'm not alone in this, even if I feel it now. The story of this dark day has just begun, and I will wait, hoping for a better tomorrow. I woke up in a dark, cold shed. My head hurt, and my body was sore. My arms were chained to a wall. I couldn't move much. I felt scared and confused. I didn't know how I got here. All I knew was that I was trapped. It was quiet. Too quiet. I tried to remember what had happened. I remembered the fight outside my house. I remembered how my mother, Maria, found the drugs in my room. I remembered how she flushed them away. That's when everything started to go wrong. I heard footsteps. They were heavy and slow. Men's voices. I tensed up. My heart pounded. I knew these men. They were angry criminals. They wanted their drugs back. I didn't know what they would do to me. Suddenly, one of the men spoke. "Where is the kid? The drugs are gone, and we want answers." Another man said, "If we find him, he'll wish he never crossed us." I wanted to shout, but I couldn't. I was chained and hurt. I felt weak. I was afraid they would hurt me worse. I looked around the shed. It was dark and dirty. There was a broken chair on the floor. Old tools and broken wood filled the space. I was stuck in this place, with no way out. I thought about my mother. She had done something brave. She flushed the drugs to protect me. But I didn't know it would lead to all this. I never wanted to be caught in their revenge. The men's voices grew louder outside. They talked about finding the person who took the drugs. They said they would make them pay. I knew they meant business. They were dangerous. I closed my eyes and tried to stay calm. I remembered what my mother always told me. Stay strong. Never give up. But inside, I felt like crying. How had everything gone so wrong? Suddenly, I heard a loud bang. Someone was trying to get in. My stomach twisted. I thought, are they coming for me? Then I heard a voice, deep and cold. "We know you're in there. Come out or we will break the door down." I felt a shiver go through me. I didn't want to go out. I was too weak. But I knew I had to do something. I had to find a way to escape or someone to help me. I looked around again. Maybe there was a way out. There was a small window high up on the wall, but it was too small for me to get through. The door was locked tight. I took a deep breath. I told myself, I cannot give up. I have to stay brave. I started to think about my mother. She loved me. She tried to do the right thing. Now I had to stay strong, for her and for myself. Suddenly, I heard footsteps outside. The door shook. They were trying to break it open. I closed my eyes and waited. I hoped someone would find me. I prayed they would rescue me soon. In that moment, I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe this nightmare would end. Maybe I would see my mother again. I held on to that hope tightly, even as the shadows closed in around me. I didn't know what would happen next. All I knew was that I was not alone, and I would try to stay brave, no matter how dark things became. It was very late at night. I was chained in a small, dark shed. My body hurt everywhere. I could barely move. My head was spinning, and I felt so weak. The only light was a small crack in the wood. I lay there, trying to breathe slowly. I remembered how I got here. I remembered the fight, the threats, the anger. I felt a deep pain inside. I had done so many bad things. I had hurt my family. I had fought with everyone. Now I was alone and broken. Outside the shed, I could hear voices, men's voices. They were angry. They were talking about me. I knew they wanted to find me and hurt me more. They were not happy that the drugs were gone. The drugs that I never even had. They belonged to bad men who wanted their money back. I heard one of them say, "They took the drugs. We will find him. He will pay for this." Their voices made my stomach turn. I knew they were dangerous. They would not stop until they found me. I tried to move my hands. I couldn't. The chains were tight. I looked around the shed. It was dirty and cold. I felt like I was trapped. I wanted to shout for help, but I had no strength. Suddenly, I remembered my mother, Maria. She had done something bad. She had flushed the drugs down the toilet. She thought she was saving me, but she didn't know the truth. The drugs did not belong to me. They belonged to cruel men. Now I was in even more trouble. I felt tears in my eyes. I missed my mother. I wanted to tell her I was sorry. I wanted her to come and save me. But I knew she was outside, scared and crying too. She was probably blaming herself for what happened. Outside, Maria was walking fast. She was looking everywhere. Her face was full of worry. She knew I was in trouble. She was afraid the bad men would hurt me. She called my name softly, hoping I could hear her. "Jay, Jay, are you there?" she whispered. Her voice was trembling. She was crying quietly. She didn't want to leave me alone, but she didn't know what to do. The bad men were getting angrier. They wanted their drugs back. They didn't like waiting. One man said, "We need to find him now, before it's too late." They moved around, searching nearby. Inside the shed, I listened. I was scared. I wished I could tell my mother to run away, to hide, to stay safe, but I couldn't speak. I was too weak. Suddenly, I heard footsteps outside. Heavy steps. Then a voice, cold and harsh. "You find him yet?" asked one of the men. "No," replied another. "He's not here. Someone must have warned him." I felt my heart beat fast. They were close. They might come in any second. I closed my eyes tight. I wanted to disappear. I remembered my friends, the ones I used to trust. I thought they were my real friends, but now I saw they had betrayed me. They had handed me over to these bad men for money. I felt so alone, so angry. My trust was broken. I heard one of my so-called friends say, "He's all alone now. No one can help him." Their voices sounded happy, like they didn't care what would happen next. I wanted to shout, "Help me," but I couldn't. My voice was gone. I was trapped and helpless. Outside, Maria kept calling my name. She kept searching, hope and fear mixing inside her. She didn't want to leave, but she knew she had to do something. She had to find a way to save me. Suddenly, I heard a loud noise. The door of the shed shuddered. Someone was trying to open it. My heart jumped. I knew they found me. I felt tears again. I was so scared. I wished my mother was here to save me. The door opened slowly. A man with a rough face looked inside. He saw me chained, weak, and crying. He sneered and said, "Well, well, look at this broken boy. You thought you could run away? No one escapes us." I wanted to scream, but my voice was too faint. I looked at him with tired eyes. I knew this was the end of my fight. I was broken. Everything I had once been was gone. Outside, Maria heard the door open. She paused. Her heart was pounding. She looked at the dark sky, wishing for a miracle. She whispered to herself, "Please, let him be okay. Please, let him be safe." In that moment, I felt the darkness closing in. The shadows of revenge were everywhere. I didn't know what would come next. All I could do was wait and hope that someday, somehow, this nightmare would end. And in the silence of that dark shed, I realized something. No matter how angry or brave I thought I was just a boy who had made many mistakes. Now I had to face the terrible price of those choices. That night, the shadows grew darker. My story was far from over. I woke up in a dark, cold shed. My body hurt. My arms and legs were tied tightly with thick ropes. I could barely move. My head throbbed, and everything around me was quiet. I could hear my heavy breathing and the faint sounds of footsteps outside. I felt scared and lost. I knew I had been betrayed. I had trusted the wrong people. Now I was stuck, and I didn't know if I would ever get out. I tried to remember what happened. The last thing I saw was the dark shadows of men coming into my house. They yanked me from my bed. They beat me and tied me up. I begged them to let me go, but they only laughed. They said I was the one who took their drugs. I didn't steal anything. I swear I didn't. But they didn't believe me. They wanted revenge. I clenched my fists. But the ropes held me tight. I looked around the shed. The walls were old wood, and the floor was dirty. There was no window, only a small hole at the top that let in a little light. Outside, I could hear voices, loud and angry. I knew the criminals were looking for me, and they wanted to hurt me worse. Suddenly, I heard footsteps approaching. My heart pounded. I wanted to cry, but I held it in. The door of the shed opened slowly. 2 men came inside. They looked angry and cold. One of them grabbed my hair and forced me to look up. They said, "You took what wasn't yours. You caused us trouble. Now you will pay." They started to hit me again. I yelled, but it didn't help. They punched my stomach, kicked my legs, and spat in my face. I felt tears in my eyes. My whole body was aching. I wanted to run, to fight back, but I was too weak. They kept hurting me. This was the worst pain I had ever felt. After a while, they stopped. One of the men grabbed a chain and locked it around my neck. He pulled me up and chained me to the wall. I was stuck. I couldn't escape. I looked at him and begged, "Please, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know where the drugs are. Please, let me go." But he just smiled and walked away. The other man said, "You'll stay here until we decide what to do. Maybe you'll learn to tell the truth." I sat on the cold floor. My body was broken, and my mind was full of fear. I looked at the dark ceiling and thought about my mother. She was probably worried about me. Did she know where I was? Did she know I was hurt? I wished I could tell her I was still alive. I wished I could tell her I was sorry for all the trouble. I closed my eyes and tried to stay calm. I knew I had to be strong. I had to find a way out. I had to survive. I remembered my mother's face. She loved me. She only wanted to help me. She didn't mean for any of this to happen. Maybe someday I would see her again. Maybe someday I would tell her I was okay. But for now, I was trapped. I was hurt, and I was alone. I could only hope that someone would come to save me, or that I would find a way to escape this terrible place. I took a deep breath and waited in silence, listening to the faint sounds outside. I knew the darkness around me was not forever. I had to be brave, even if I was scared, and so I stayed there, chained and broken, feeling the weight of all my mistakes. I knew this was the price I had to pay for the violence I had done before. I hoped that someday the pain would end. But for now, I waited, in the dark, in silence. I woke up in the dark. My body hurt everywhere. I was chained to a metal post in a small, dirty shed. The walls were cold and rough. I could hear the drip of water and the occasional faint sound of footsteps outside. I felt scared, exhausted, and very alone. My head was pounding. I tried to move my arms, but the chains held me tight. I couldn't get free. I looked around and saw the shadows in the shed. I wanted to scream, but my voice was weak. I felt like I had fallen into a deep, dark hole. I remembered what had happened. The criminals had caught me. They were angry because I took their drugs. They didn't like being lied to or stolen from. Now I was in this place, chained and helpless. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. I told myself to stay calm. I knew I had to find a way out, but I also felt the pain in my body and the weight of my fear. I wondered how long I would stay here, in this cold, lonely shed. Suddenly, I heard footsteps outside. The door creaked open slowly. A tall man with a hard face looked inside. He carried a small metal pipe. I tensed up, my heart beating fast. I wanted to ask, "Why are you doing this? Please let me go." But I could only stay silent. He stepped closer. "You're lucky we're not worse with you," he said in a rough voice. I saw the anger in his eyes. He looked at me like I was nothing but a problem. He took out a small whip and flicked it. I flinched. It hurt my pride more than my body. He sneered, "You think you can steal from us and get away? Think again." He reached out and grabbed my hair, pulling my head back. I tried to stay strong. I told myself, "Stay quiet. Don't give them what they want." My mind raced, looking for a way to escape. But I knew I was trapped. They left me in the shed for a little while. I could hear them talking outside. They were angry and planning more punishment. I wished I could tell Maria where I was. I wanted to see her again, to hear her voice, to feel her hug. But I was alone, chained and broken. Hours passed. I started to feel cold and numb. I remembered my mother's face when she found the drugs. She was so scared, but she also wanted to protect me. I felt a deep ache in my chest. I realized she did what she thought was right, even if it hurt me. Suddenly, I heard voices outside again. They were talking about money and revenge. The men said they would come back soon. I knew this was a dangerous place, and I had to find a way to escape. But I was too weak and hurt to fight. I closed my eyes and tried to think. I remembered how I used to be angry and how I fought everyone. Now I was beaten and scared. I felt like I had lost everything. My pride, my strength, my future. But deep inside, a small voice still told me to hold on, to stay alive, to wait for a chance. I didn't want to give up. I promised myself I would find a way out of this dark place. I would fight for my life. I sat in silence, listening to the sounds around me, the drip of water, the muffled voices, my own shaky breath. I knew I was in a bad place. But I also knew I was not completely lost. I still had hope. I would not give up. And so I stayed there, chained, but not broken. I waited and thought about what I could do next. I didn't know when help would come, or if I could escape. But I knew I had to stay strong, for myself and for the hope of seeing my mother again. I am chained in a small dark shed. The walls are old and the wood is rotting. My body hurts. My head is heavy and my eyes feel tired. I stay quiet, trying not to cry. I don't know how long I have been here. The only sound is the faint drip of water and my own breathing. I hear footsteps outside. Someone is coming. My heart beats fast. I try to steady my breath. I want to be brave, but I am scared. I know these men are dangerous. They want revenge. They want their drugs back, and I am caught in the middle of it all. I hear the door open slowly. Men's voices. They are talking quietly, but with anger. They don't like that I am here. I listen carefully. One man says, "Find him. He's the reason we lost the drugs. We want him now." Another replies, "We will make him pay for what he did." I shrink back in my chains. I wish I could run, but I am tied up. I am trapped. I feel helpless. Suddenly, I hear loud footsteps. They come closer. Two men enter the shed. They are tall and strong. They carry ropes and knives. I see their cold eyes. I want to scream, but I am too scared. One man grabs my arm roughly. "Look at him," he says. "He's nothing, just a boy." The other man nods. "We should teach him a lesson." They start to hurt me. They hit me with their fists. I scream in pain, but no one hears me. My body feels broken. I feel tears in my eyes. I think about my mother. She tried to protect me. Her act of flushing the drugs started all of this. I remember her face. She was crying when she threw the drugs into the toilet. She didn't know that those drugs didn't even belong to me. They belonged to dangerous men. Her act of desperation has made everything worse. I wish I could tell her I am okay, but I am too weak. The men stop hurting me for a moment. One says, "This boy is no good. He's just a troublemaker." Another adds, "We will keep him here until he learns his lesson." They leave me chained and alone. I lie on the cold ground. Blood drips from my face. I feel tired and broken. I want to cry. But I can't. I only lie still and wait. Outside, I hear my mother's voice in my head. She is calling my name. She is searching for me. I wish I could tell her I am still alive. I hope she finds me soon. I close my eyes. I want to forget the pain. I want to dream of better days. But I know that right now I am trapped, and I don't know what will happen next. All I can do is hold on. Hold on to hope, because deep inside, I still want to believe that someday this nightmare will end. I wake up in a cold, dark shed. My body hurts all over. My head is heavy, and my hands are chained to a rusty wall. I try to move, but I cannot. I feel weak and tired. I hear silence all around me. It is so quiet that I can hear my own breathing. I feel lost. I do not know how long I have been here. Maybe days, maybe longer. I remember what happened before. The betrayal, the beating, the chains. I remember feeling scared and angry, but now all I feel is a deep sadness. I look around. The shed is small. The walls are old and dirty. There is no window, no way out. It smells of stale air and old wood. The only light is a weak sunbeam coming through a crack in the wall. It does not help much. It just makes the shadows deeper. I close my eyes and try to think. I think about my mother, Maria. She is probably somewhere outside, worried, crying. I wish I could tell her I am okay, but I know I am not. I am broken, inside and out. Suddenly, I hear footsteps. Heavy footsteps. They come closer. I feel my heart beat faster. I know it is them, the men who took me, the ones who hurt me. They come to check on me. The door swings open. 2 men step inside. They are big, mean-looking. One of them smirks and says, "You are still alive, huh?" His voice is cold. The other man laughs softly. I want to say something, but my throat is dry. I just stare at them. They look at me like I am just a thing, not a person. One of the men walks over and kicks my leg. "You think you can escape? You are nothing, just a broken boy." His words hurt more than his kick. I try to stay silent. I do not want to cry, but inside I feel like crying so much. I want to shout at them, tell them I am tired of this pain, but I don't have strength. They talk among themselves. They say they are angry because the drugs are gone. They say they will find whoever took them. They make it clear they want revenge. They will not stop until they find me or someone who betrayed them. I listen. I understand that I am in danger. I understand that they are angry, but I also understand that I am too weak to fight. I am just a boy in chains. One of the men steps closer. He looks down at me. His face is angry. He says, "You are lucky we are busy now, but we will be back, and next time you won't be so lucky." Then they turn and leave. The door slams shut. The shed falls into silence again. I lie there, feeling helpless. I want to scream, but no sound comes out. I want to run, but I cannot. I am trapped. My body is battered. My mind is tired. I think about my mother. I wonder if she is searching for me. I wonder if she knows where I am. I hope she is safe. I hope she is okay. But I also feel angry at her for what she did, flushing the drugs. It was her act that started all this trouble. I wish I could tell her I am sorry, that I do not blame her. I close my eyes again. I try to breathe slowly. I listen to the quiet. The silence feels heavy, like a heavy cloud hanging over me. I know I cannot stay here forever. I have to find a way out. I have to be strong, but right now, all I can do is wait. Wait and hope someone will come. Someone who can save me. Someone who can end this nightmare. As I lie there, I realize something. No matter how dark the world is now, I still have a little hope. A hope that someday things will get better. That this pain will end. That I will find help. I take a deep breath. I hold it. Then I slowly let it go. I promise myself that I will not give up. I will find a way to survive. And in my quiet, broken heart, I cling to that hope. Because sometimes, even in the darkest darkness, a small light can still shine. I lay on the cold, hard floor of the shed. My body hurt all over. My head throbbed. I was chained to a wall, and I couldn't move much. Darkness surrounded me. I could hear my breath and the faint sounds of footsteps outside. I felt tired. I felt broken. I felt scared. It had been a long time since I was taken. I remembered fighting, shouting, trying to run. But they caught me. They chained me here. The men who took me are angry. They want revenge. Their faces are cold and cruel. They don't seem to care if I live or die. They just want to punish me. I closed my eyes and tried to ignore the pain. I remembered my mother, Maria. She was outside, worried and crying. I wondered if she was trying to find me. I wished I could tell her I was okay, even though I was not. Suddenly, I heard voices outside. Angry voices. They were talking about me, about the drugs that were taken. They said I was responsible, that I betrayed them. I felt a wave of shame and fear. I knew they were coming back soon. They wanted me to pay for what happened. I tried to stay calm. I remembered what I used to do. Be angry, fight back. But now, I was weak. I was trapped. I felt like I was at the end of my road. Outside the shed, I heard a woman's voice. It was Maria. She was crying. She was calling my name softly, hoping I could hear her. She said, "Jay, I'm so sorry. I didn't want this to happen." I wanted to call back, but my voice was gone. All I could do was lie there and listen. The men outside talked loudly. They said they wanted to find the people who stole the drugs. They told Maria that they were coming for her too. That made me feel even more helpless. I was no match for them. I thought about my past, all the times I threatened my family, all the fighting and anger. I never thought it would lead to this. I never thought I would end up chained in a dark shed, hurt and alone. I remembered the night my mother found the drugs hidden in my room. She was so scared. She didn't want me to do bad things. She loved me, but I didn't see her love then. I only saw her as someone trying to stop me. I didn't understand. She was only trying to keep me safe. And then I remembered the day she flushed the drugs. She thought she was saving us. She thought she was protecting me. But she didn't know that those drugs didn't belong to me. They belonged to dangerous men. When she threw them away, she didn't see what would come next. Now I was paying the price. The criminals wanted revenge. They believed I was the one who took their drugs. They didn't care if I was innocent or guilty. They just wanted to hurt someone. I felt tears in my eyes. I wanted to scream, to run, to fight back. But I was chained. I was weak. All I could do was wait and hope. Inside, I promised myself I would stay strong. I didn't want to give up. I knew I had to find a way out. I had to survive. For my mother, for myself, somehow. I listened again. The outside was silent now. The men had left for a moment. I took a deep breath and tried to think clearly. I knew I couldn't stay here forever. I had to find a way to escape, to tell my mother I was still alive. But for now, all I could do was lie in the darkness and wait. I felt the cold, the pain, and the heavy weight of my mistakes. I closed my eyes again, hoping tomorrow would bring a new chance, a new hope. A way out of this nightmare, and in that quiet darkness, I whispered to myself, I will not give up. I will find my way home. I wake up in a dark, cold shed. My body hurts everywhere. My hands are chained to a rusty wall. I can't move my arms much. My head feels heavy and my stomach aches. I try to remember how I got here. It's hard to think clearly. I only know I am trapped. There is no sunlight, only darkness. The only sound is my slow breathing and the faint drip of water. I feel tired. My eyes are heavy. I want to cry, but I have no tears left. I am so broken inside. I think about my mother, Maria. She tried to do what she thought was right. I know she loves me, but her choice to flush the drugs made everything worse. I feel her guilt, even from far away. I wish I could tell her I am okay, but I can't. I hear footsteps outside the shed. I try to listen carefully. I know who they are. The men who took me. The criminals. They are angry. They want revenge. They don't care if I am hurt. Their voices are cold and mean. One man says, "We found out the drugs are gone. Who is responsible?" Another answers, "It's that kid, the one who betrayed us." They are talking about me. I feel a terrible fear. I know they are dangerous. They will hurt me more if they find out I was part of the problem. Suddenly, the door swings open. The light blinds me for a moment. I see their faces. They come closer, sneering. They are furious. One of them slaps me hard. I fall to the ground, dizzy and in pain. I hear them shout, "You think you can cheat us? You will pay for this." They chain me again. They kick me and punch me. I cry out in pain. I feel my body breaking even more. I wish I could run away. I wish I could fight back, but I am too weak. My mind is full of fear and regret. Outside, I hear my mother's voice in my mind. I see her face when she found the drugs and flushed them away. She thought she was saving us. She didn't know it would cause so much trouble. Now I understand. Her act of love has made everything worse. I wish I could tell her I forgive her. I wish I could tell her I need her now. As the men hurt me, I feel a strange calm inside. I know I can't give up. I have to find a way to survive. Maybe someone will come to save me. Maybe I can escape or get help. But for now, I stay quiet and hope. I have to stay strong, even if my body is broken. Hours pass. I lie there, chained and hurt. My body is full of pain, but my mind begins to think. I remember all the bad things I have done. I remember how I made my mother cry, how I threatened my family, how I pushed everyone away. I see now that violence only leads to more pain. I hear the criminals talking again. They are angry and ready to leave. They say, "We will come back tomorrow. If you try anything, you know what will happen." They leave the shed, slamming the door shut. I am alone again. I lie there in silence. My head is full of questions. Will anyone find me? Will I ever get out? Will I see my mother again? I am afraid, but I try to hold on. I remind myself that I am still alive. I still have hope. Slowly, I close my eyes. I think about my mother. I think about how she tried to do the right thing. I think about how I need to change. I promise myself that someday I will be better. I will fight to be free. I will fight for my life. In this silence, I make a small prayer. I ask for strength. I ask for forgiveness. I ask for help. I do not know when or how, but I feel in my heart that I must keep fighting. I must stay alive. And so I wait in the dark, hoping for a new day, hoping someone will come, hoping I can escape this nightmare. I know I am broken now, but maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to heal. This is the end of my story for now. The darkness is not forever. I will hold on. I will keep dreaming of a better future, and I will never give up hope.